Let's see, we've got Ms. Minchella and Ms. Urbanowski. All in favor? Vote is unanimous. We're now back in public session. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Do we have any agenda changes?
We have additions to personnel.
Thank you so much. All right. I didn't miss anything, right? Okay. That brings us to our board president comments. Thank you guys all for being here tonight. It's so nice to see all of you, especially in this wonderful winter-like weather. But we're glad everybody's here and can't wait to hear more about all the work that's been going on at the high school throughout this year. I wanted to take a minute to recognize just how great a time of year this is, but also how stressful and busy it can be for a lot of our staff and our kids and our families as well. Within this short 3 weeks, we have, I think, concerts or events or meetings almost every night throughout the district, and lots of different celebrations going on within classrooms and parts of the community, which is amazing because then we get to learn about each other and support each other, but also just knowing that there can be an added stress with that time period and that change and that different consistency in your day, and recognizing that and supporting it in each other. I wanted to thank everybody again for the Elf Junior musical and just all of the work of seeing our community come together for any of these events. I can't wait to see the concerts coming up this next couple of weeks, actually, and just all the work and heart that everybody puts into showing what they've learned and what they know. I wanted to just put a plug out for the Harlem Wizards coming soon after the holidays, January 16th. It's a wonderful night that we have for our families, and just seeing so many staff and kids and families coming together. It's always a fun time. And just a reminder for our digital equity survey that's out for us all to respond to support our community as well. Do we have any points of interest? Ms. Jennings, sorry. Here, I got you.
Just really, really quick, I don't think that we can say enough about Elf Junior. It was amazing. So kudos to all of the students, the staff, and everyone who helped to put everything together. It was amazing. So that's it.
Do we have any other points of interest? Okay. Do we have any meetings that took place? All right, do we have any visitor comments? No, thank you. All right, that moves us on to our high school update. That's you guys. And yeah, do you want to do those first? Let's do the Spartan Pride Awards first. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you. Good evening, Superintendent Daly, President Coffey. Thanks for having us here tonight. I have a couple people I'd like to recognize for our Spartan Pride. First two recipients are Sarah Robinson and Eleni Hartman. If you guys can join up here. Sarah and Eleni exemplified what true leadership looks like within the special education department. Their commitment to excellence and unwavering dedication to both students and staff set them apart in every way. Going above and beyond is an understatement when describing their work ethic. They are tireless advocates, not only for their students they serve, but also for the colleagues they support. Their ability to balance compassion with professionalism creates an environment where everyone feels valued and heard. When challenges arise, they don't just bring concerns forward. They come prepared with 2 or 3 thoughtful alternatives or solutions. This proactive approach demonstrates their problem-solving skills and their deep understanding of what it means to lead collaboratively. Any superhero duo has nothing on these two. Working with Sarah and Eleni truly is a pleasure. Their positivity, resourcefulness, and commitment to make them indispensable members of our team. We are fortunate to have them, and recognizing them as Spartan Pride recipients is a well-deserved honor. Our next GC Pride Award is Miss Kirsty Knight. Kirsty has been an invaluable member of Gates Chiley High School for over 7 years, serving as a substitute teacher with unwavering dedication and professionalism. Her kindness and gentle demeanor make her a trusted and respected presence among both staff and students. Whenever the high school needs her most, Kirsty steps up without hesitation. She has covered an impressive range of roles, from FACS to French to testing accommodations and currently math, always giving her absolute best. Her flexibility and willingness to take on any challenges demonstrate her true commitment to supporting our students and staff. Kirsty embodies what it means to be a team player. She's dependable, adaptable, and consistently goes above and beyond to ensure the success of those around her. Her positive attitude and strong work ethic make her an essential part of our school community. For these reasons, Kirsty truly deserves to be recognized with as a GC Pride recipient. She exemplifies the values of hard work and compassion that define Gates Chiley. And our final GC Pride Award tonight is for Andrew McManus. Come on up. Andrew truly embodies what it means to be a Spartan at Gates Chiley. His friendly and outgoing nature makes him a positive representative for our school community and someone we are all proud to call a leader. On top of being a senior, Andrew balances multiple roles with excellence. He is a dedicated student athlete and serves as a class officer, demonstrating leadership and commitment in everything he does. His ability to manage these responsibilities while maintaining a positive attitude is a testament to his character. Recently, Andrew went above and beyond during our homecoming dance. Faced with an abundance of leftover food, he took the initiative to call and arrange for all of it to be donated to the Open Door mission. This thoughtful act not only prevented a waste of food, but also supported those in need, reflecting Andrew's compassion and sense of community. Andrew is a true Spartan, responsible, caring, and proactive. His actions and leadership make Gates Chiley proud, and he is highly deserving of a GC Pride Award.
You all have to go take your picture now.
Yeah, you guys are gonna do.
Sorry.
Good evening. Thank you again for having us here today. I apologize I didn't introduce myself. I am Tom Hamill, the high school principal. Here with me is the high school administrative team. They are passing out some documents that we'll be referring to throughout the presentation, including an at-a-glance, a one-pager, and also a newsletter that is shared with our school improvement team. Before we begin, I'll have the admin team go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. I am Gigi Parchman Magnuson. I'm the 10th grade assistant principal. Good evening.
Good evening, Jennifer Kern, 11th grade assistant principal.
Good evening, everyone. Michael Perkins, the 12th grade assistant principal.
Good evening, I'm Laura Braid, the 9th grade assistant principal.
So we want to start off tonight with talking about how our team is working towards achieving the district goals. Our first goal is, district goal is strengthen connection and community through restorative practices that promote wellness, foster relationships, and support every learner's journey. Listed here are a couple of the high school action steps that are that we are working towards achieving district goal number 1. There are several other action steps that we're working towards, but these are the ones that we wanted to highlight in tonight's presentation. To reach the first district goal is we are working with, again, running our SEL lessons that are picking up more speed every year. These are monthly lessons that were created that align to our New York State standards. How we run them is through Schoology. Teachers have access code. Students are able to access it. There's usually a quick video that goes with it, anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes. There's some sort of interaction with the students, and then there's a reflection piece using Microsoft Forms. We rotate this throughout the school day, so in September it occurred period 1, October period 2, November period 3, and so on and so forth. So it's not always falling on one period and one teacher having to carry it out and execute it. What's really great about this is the counselors do have access to this. They reflect on it on some of our data days and look to see any trends or anything that they see popping up that's alarming. Along with this, we, to reach this goal of district goal number 1, we have several members of the high school team, including Jen and I, are on Champions for Restorative Practices with Dr. Malik Muhammad. We just had a very long PD today that was very beneficial and very inciting and very powerful in a lot of different ways that we're going to be looking to bring back to the building, working with our teacher partners and champions, and then we're going to look to spread that out to our student champions eventually down the school, later in the school year. Again, to go along with district goal number 1 is we gave you guys a copy of the at-a-glance and the one-pager around the cell phone policy or the internet use policy. This has been a tremendous success, I feel like, at the high school this year. Students have really adapted to this. We all know kind of how they're very used to being on their phones, having access to it 24/7, and I believe this is a testament to the district's efforts to communicate this early and often, between the postcard that went home, communications through newsletters, communications from the high school team, very well executed, so everybody was aware what the expectations are. Very clear and direct expectations as well with the tier 1, 2, and 3 infractions. Our system usually is pretty self-explanatory based on this, but we have, when there is a possible infraction, teacher calls security and the student's cell phone is taken to the grade level office and there's a restorative conversation with the administrator. What's pretty awesome is throughout the day, maybe 6 to 8 radio calls are being made. We just had another reminder just because we're coming off a break and sometimes things get a little relaxed. So we just had a nice little reminder again to staff and students that make sure we're all on the same page and pulling in the same direction with us. But again, only about 6 to 8 phone calls a day where students are maybe using their phones, and it may not even be a phone. It might be an Apple Watch, or beginning of the year we had a lot of students pulling out their cell phones to like use their Apple Pay for the vending machine, which was, you know, a little bit of a learning curve for everybody, but something they had to get adjusted with. So again, huge success with this, and what's really, really great to see is with the number of students that are interacting with each other. The first couple days of school, the lunchrooms were extremely loud, and there was one staff member that came in and said, you know, Tom, why is it so loud in here? And I was like, they're not on their phones, they're actually talking with each other, which was pretty awesome to see. And I don't want to speak for the students, but I've had a lot of conversations, especially our seniors, and I think there's a sense of relief from them, not needing to be on it, not needing to answer that Snapchat or that Instagram or anything else like that. So I think they're enjoying it just as much as the teachers are. And then as I'm meeting with our untenured teachers for post-observations, they, you know, their second and third year, they're enjoying not having to fight that battle of, hey, I need you guys to put your phones away. I know they're engaged with me and they're seeing that improved engagement. So again, testament to the district, communicating these expectations, very specific guidelines on how we're going to carry things out. And I want to say maybe only a handful of students even reached tier 3 where there was a device check-in plan. So again, 1,140 students in the high school, and we didn't even reach double digits of students that needed to be on a device check-in plan, which again is pretty impressive, I feel.
Oh, yes. I was waiting for this. Okay, sorry. I am so excited to hopefully to just kick off this mentor opportunity. The purpose of the mentor opportunity is to support new students in their transition to Gates Chali by pairing them with a trained peer mentor who provide guidance, friendship, and resources throughout the school year. So imagine you're a new student at Gates, you don't know anyone, you're scared, the halls, all you gotta look at colors that are not always the color they're supposed to be, like the purple look like burgundy, like so, and you're just nervous and you don't know where the bathroom, well, all of that. So imagine we have some trained students who are going to support that new kid. And here's the expectations of the mentor. So mandatory training sessions. They're to meet with their mentee at least twice a month for a semester, either in person or virtually. They'll provide academic and social support. That's like showing them how to look at their transcripts or where they find their stuff on ClassLink or Schoology, things like that for academics, while assisting navigating school resources, clubs, and activities. They'll participate in and they have to track their monthly meetings. So the reason why they have to track it, because they can get volunteer hours for it. See, yeah, see how, okay. And then hopefully we can build this program and it'll be upperclassmen from, well, 10th to 12th grade, because sometimes, if you're a 9th grader, you're talking to a senior, could be intimidated. So we're like, maybe we can get 10th graders who are really got their stuff together. And there's like requirements like attendance, academics, all of that. I'm going off script, so I'm going to stop right now. So thank you. Just excited about it.
Looking ahead at district number 2, district goal number 2, elevate academic achievement through rigorous, engaging, data-informed instruction that supports each learner's pathway to success. Again, here's just a couple of the high school action steps. There are several others. These are just the ones that we want to highlight for this evening. There we go.
So with feedback from our teacher leaders and our students, we wanted to take advantage of the morning half-day for our students on the data day where staff was going to be meeting in the afternoon. So, shout out to Gigi and Laura and the counselors. They organized a very well-run, meaningful experience for our students that morning. All students were asked to complete an SEL lesson, including a screener. So that was one of the periods. Students had a presentation titled Drugs Unfiltered, in which a member of law enforcement presented on the realities and dangers of various types of drugs that students or their friends or their families may encounter and different ways to get support if needed. The counselors then on a third period, and they were all kind of organized, 9th and 10th did it now, 11th and 12th did it then. The counselors had created a presentation to familiarize our students with SchoolLinks. Now, SchoolLinks is our updated career, college, and future planning tool. Well, we used to use Naviance, now we're using SchoolLinks. Using this tool, students are able to create goals and explore careers that match their interests. They can watch videos, and they can go back and review it and try another one and look what trainings are needed for certain jobs in their career interests. And they can keep going back. So it was to get them started and signed up and to begin that process. And then the fourth one, which was, I think, the one we enjoyed the most, was a class of spirit building activity, where the class of 2026 held their first monthly senior town hall meeting, which you'll hear a little bit more about later. And 9th through 11th, class of 2027 had their group, 2028 had their group in 2029, where they participated in various different activities, bounce houses, parachute game, bubbles, temporary tattoos, kickball, a whole bunch of different things so kids could do what was in their interest. And staff was out there participating with the students and just kind of building that school spirit amongst that class.
Connecting with goal number 2 again, data-driven decision-making. So we are very fortunate to have found a screener and assessment tool to not only measure reading levels for students, but also for algebra specifically. These screeners are going to be administered 3 times a year, once in the fall, winter, and spring. We gave our fall ones very early in September. Time was taken out of specifically algebra classes for the algebra screener, and then 4 out of English classes for the reading screener. The data is pretty quick to return on this, and teachers actually had access to this data on the data day that was back in September. What's really, really powerful about this is we are seeing the needs for our students and where we can start addressing those needs and how we're going to start working towards addressing those needs. So conversations are being had about how we're going to realign our MTSS structures, how we're going to build stronger AIS supports to provide students with that support, the supports they needed, that are needed. Our building literacy leader, Sandy Train, has also been pushing into some departments to share this data and share the powerful, they all have access to this as well, but they can see specifically how students are doing and performing so they can make adjustments and get the students what they need at their levels. Again, we're having continuous conversations on how to build on this and continue that momentum, and then we are, again, administering it in January to see if there's any growth or if there's any reason to start making more adjustments.
So earlier tonight, you saw that we recognized Sarah Robinson and Eleni Hartman, two of our special ed leaders. I do want to give a brief shout out to the entire special ed department, between the teachers, the teacher aides, even we had another building sub that has helped us out tremendously as we have expanded our offerings for special education students. We have welcome welcome our new 611 program this year. We have transformed an office, a former office, into a life skills living space. It's equipped with a kitchen and laundry to promote and develop authentic life skills. We have a new sensory room that's in progress. It's located near the 611 and the 1211 rooms, but it is available to others as needed. We've expanded our fine arts offerings to a lot of our special ed students. And right now, students in our artistic programs have begun to partner with our food service and maintenance departments to expand their work-based opportunities within the building. Right there, Snack Shack, we're not quite there yet, but right now we do have students in our CASP program currently working in the kitchen and with our food service already currently, and we're hoping to expand that to more students and to more areas within the building. And then if you want to, right there, there's a picture of our life skills space, life skills kitchen, however, whatever you want to call it, but it is equipped with oven, fridge, laundry to, again, promote those authentic life skills for our students for after they leave high school. On the left, you'll see our new 611 classroom. Again, our new teacher, Jaden, and our aides, and everybody, our speech pathologists, they are all working in such a great team to help welcome our new students as well. It's right across the room from our 1211. So Megan Palmer, they're just, it's meshing. They are all lending hands whenever need be, and the support has been amazing for those kids. On the right, you'll see the sensory room that's in progress. I believe that they just hung this wing, and we are looking at different lighting for that room as well currently. But those are some exciting things going on within the special ed department.
So in collaboration with the Office of Instruction, Student Support Services, and along with the middle school, we are trying to take on some consistent practices for our teachers 6 through 12 that are going to align again to the goals for district goals number 1 and number 2. We actually had our first session today, so we planned together utilizing our instructional coaches K-12, where teachers had an opportunity to sign up for one of these 4 sessions, where teachers either got some information on how to support students that are neurodivergent, formative assessments through eDoctrina, student engagement opportunities, and vocab and writing practices. Teachers chose these using a Microsoft form just over a month ago. They got their top priority, but eventually our goal is to have staff to work through and get at least 2 more of these throughout the school year. We're looking to do one again in February and also in April. This we felt was a better utilization of some of our faculty meetings, where some things I can just maybe share in an email, but trying to get some more PD with our teachers that we're on the same page, that they can bring back into the classrooms immediately and support our students at a tier 1 level and be more consistent, again, 6 through 12. So other highlights from our year.
My excitement comes from obviously being an alumni. So I'm excited to share the story of this year's homecoming, 2025, there it is, okay, and Gates Chili Hall of Fame induction, which was the first since 2022, a celebration which I had the privilege of planning alongside Mr. Hamill and our dedicated homecoming and Hall of Fame committees. As an alumni, it was incredibly touching and a bit nostalgic, the welcoming of, to welcome home and celebrate this year's 6 distinguished inductees: Mark Perina, Tony Dolce, Jeff Fisher, Neil Campbell, Chief Robert Long, and Elvis Reyes. Their achievements and ongoing impact embody what it truly means to be a Spartan. During Homecoming Spirit Week, we hosted 2 days of events, jam-packed, reconnecting inductees and their families with the Gates Chili community while giving students a firsthand look at future possibilities. Thursday began with an inductee luncheon at the high school, followed by speeches to the class of 2026 in the Performing Arts Center. The seniors were attentive and inspired by the messages of resilience, gratitude, and finding their own path. Some surprise guests made their way in and attended as well. Through a pre-event survey, inductees identified influential Gates Chili educators, past and present, and we personally invited them, many of them attending, bringing support and their familiar smiles to everyone. The inductees then toured the high school building, reminiscing through some familiar hallways, impressed by the changes since their own graduation days, and then participated in a meet and greet in the PAC lobby. The feedback from all the inductees was overwhelmingly positive, which many continuing to stay in touch with us to this day, sharing how meaningful it was to come home. On Friday of that week, the inductees returned for breakfast and were on time for first period, full morning of classroom visits, Mr. Long included. He was on time. And he was one of them, connecting with over 20 classrooms at the high school. Each inductee spoke directly with students about their careers, their life experiences, and the role at Gates Chili and how it played out in shaping who they have become. They toured Spartan Park and the middle school, further connecting with the community. Friday's events include the State of the District meeting with the superintendent and deputy superintendent and the famous high school pep rally. Then the comeback of the homecoming parade with special moments across the district. Then the inductee recognition at halftime during the football game. Obviously, it was a good night for that football game. We all had some good memories with a win. Across all those events, pride and excitement from students, staff, and inductees was felt across everyone. Additionally, the first homecoming dance was held Saturday night with over 400 stylish high school students in attendance, marking an overwhelming success in school spirit. Special thank you to Mark Perina, one of our inductees, Mark's Pizzeria, and Gates Chili Sports Boosters for their generous contributions. I also want to thank the Board of Education, Administration, Hall of Fame, and Homecoming committees, class advisors, teachers who opened up their classrooms, and the staff who supported every step of Homecoming 2025 and bringing back the Hall of Fame induction process. Bringing the alumni back to share their journeys is a powerful way to inspire our next generation of Spartans. This year's celebration was memorable, and it was a personal honor to help with this special tradition here at home at Gates Chili. Once a Spartan, always a Spartan.
So like we said, we had our senior town halls. Our first one happened during Data Day. And so basically they happen once a month, and it's where we get together every Friday or one Friday a month, all the seniors, that's the hope. And then we get together. And so basically first off is, the town halls are meant to bring the students together, build the community, build the family, kind of, celebrate each other and go over certain topics like that. So during these meetings, I normally start off with like a warm welcome where I ask a question or put a question on the slide and have students, they can answer out or share with each other, talk to a fellow classmate. Then they can share out, and then from there I move into reminders, and then so I normally ask the staff if there's anything that they want me to kind of share with the students or remind them. So we kind of go through those reminders, and then from there we go through the expectations. So that's just kind of reiterating like the behavioral expectations, the electronics, going to classes and senior study hall and lunches and things like that. Just some reminders that we think that they may need for that month. But then, so for November, we talked about the college applications and making sure they get those done in the SUNY apps and the Common Apps. We talked about submitting their FAFSA, submitting their gold forms to their counselors, decision day, and we know that not all students are going to want to go to college or go that route. So just ensuring that they all have a plan set forth so that when they graduate, they're on the right track. And then next we go into an activity. So the first activity that we did was a fierce competition of rock, paper, scissors. So had, students, they battle each other, and whoever loses, they have to then cheer on the person who beat them. And then when we came to the end, it was like, one-on-one, and everybody was cheering, they were laughing, very, very, very loud in the pack. And then the winner received a gift card to Starbucks, and the runner-up got a gift card to Dunkin' Donuts. And then last month, we did a Kahoot where we had some questions about Gates Child Lives history. We had some questions about Mr. Hamill and myself, and how Alfred University is better than St. John Fisher. And then we also had some questions about our class officers and like just some fun facts and things like that. They definitely enjoyed that. They took that pretty serious. There was a lot of, again, screaming, yelling in the mezzanine for that. And then from there, we kind of go on to recognitions. So one thing I wanted to highlight was that, perfect attendance for each month. So for the month of September, we had 93 students who had perfect attendance. And then in October, we kind of dipped down a little bit to have 66 students with perfect attendance. And then pretty much, once first semester is over, my hope is that we kind of get all the students who had perfect attendance for the first semester together, and then we kind of do like something fun, like maybe like a silent disco party or like a bowling event or something like that. And then finally, to wrap it up, we do our class theme is Shrek. So instead of student of the month, we call it ogre of the month. So they get an award, they get some Gates Child Life swag. Then they get lunch. I buy them lunch of their choosing on a Friday. And so our first student that we had win was Dante Stewart. And then last month, I didn't get a picture of her, but Cameron Bateman was our ogre of the month for last month.
Next, we're going to discuss our school improvement team, and I have a couple students from this team to discuss what we're doing with them.
Hello all. The school improvement team meets once monthly for students and teachers to address issues and ways to improve in the school. When we get together, it is in small groups where we each work on different areas. Thank you.
School improvement team is comprised of 26 students and staff members. Students were nominated by teachers for their leadership abilities.
At our first meeting, we identified areas that students would like to focus on improving. At our last meeting, we developed protocols for respectful discussions and practice with questions around identity and culture.
Based on student input, we've determined the following 3 overarching focuses for the area of the school year, and they're on the board right there. And then at our next meeting, students will split into groups and start brainstorming action items for these focus areas.
And you all received a copy of the school improvement team newsletter that Mrs. Rosario and Mrs. Brody make every month in collaboration with the students. On there are the meeting dates, sit tip of the week, current focuses, and then who is on there as representatives. Rock to Change, so Gates Chalet High School is hosting the Spring Rock to Change this spring. This is a huge, huge honor. We hosted it here at Gates Chalet a couple years ago, but with collaboration with Irondequoit this year and East High School, this is a student-led summit, and over 300 students from the area get to attend this. The theme there is a decade of rock to change, celebrate, belong, and persist. And the summit will be held on Thursday, March 19th, 2026 at Monroe 2 BOCES. Again, it was held here in the past, but the committees got together and decided to hold it at BOCES again. What is great about Rock to Change is we are able to send students there and be part of this, these discussions and work with other students across the county. Unfortunately, we are only able to send about 8 students per year. So as a School improvement team, a couple years ago, we decided to start bringing it back to Gates Chile, and we now have a Gates to Change that we host in the spring. Essentially what we have is we have those 8 students come back, they turnkey the sessions back to our students, and we are able to invite upwards of 80 Gates Chile students to help spread the practices and the good work that they did at Rock to Change. We are looking in the future to try to collaborate with another school district, but right now we are planning for this spring upwards of 80 students to go through these sessions, continue this work and practice, and celebrate everything that's great at Rock to Change. Back just one. There we go. New classrooms in action. So these are our new fax rooms. We have the sewing room on the far left, and then in the middle is another picture of our sewing room, and on the far right is one of our 2 outstanding cooking stations. I wanted to highlight these because not only are they state-of-the-art, I love giving tours of this district. That's the highlight of some of the things I do because it's just so impressive, and these rooms are absolutely top-notch. Right now, the left picture and the center picture, what you see students working on is the creative design courses in collaboration with the Neil Armstrong second graders, I believe. Those students draw pictures of cute little monsters. They send them over to our students, and our students take the project of trying to create those as best they can. This Friday, those students are going to be coming over and working with our students in the small cafeteria to meet with each other. Our students are going to be giving the Neil Armstrong students their creature that they created, and it's a great collaboration between 2 buildings and a great chance for our students to showcase their skills and work with younger students. And then on the far right is one of our culinary classes. This is a Foods 1 course. Again, due to the interest that we've had over the last couple of years, we were in need of a second kitchen, so thanks to everybody here, we were able to make that happen. Again, very enjoyable class. All of these classes are absolutely maxed out at 24 students per class, which is the highest we're allowed to be in there for safety reasons, but again, they're all maxed out and they're continuing to grow, which is fantastic.
So what's happening in our technology classes? With architecture and design, our students are using fixed floor plan examples and utilizing the 3D software to do interior work. Their next project is they're going to be making a ranch house completely from scratch. Computer aid design and draw class, students are reading schematics and making 3D models of breakfast scenes and digital electronic circuitry. Construction systems, students just finished a unit on framing wall sections with 2x4s and are now learning the torch to sew their copper pipe together in the plumbing unit. World of Tech, students are engaged in problem-solving activity in which they build a cargo boat out of paper materials that must hold the weight within a tank of water. Electricity and electronics, the students took a field trip to downtown Rochester where they visited the Kodak Tower. They got to play with some virtual reality, robotics and programmings, and then they also got to make a digital clock. And then for metals and fabrication, our students created a memorial bench for Mr. Starbird's mentor, Mr. Goltz, that's actually located right outside the large cafe entrance. So that's right out there if you guys want to take a look and see it.
We're almost done, I promise. But before I get started on the Makerspace, I want to also give a shout out to GC3 for providing the DJ for the dance for homecoming too. Whoop whoop. Hopefully you'll do that next year too. Okay, so Makerspace Friday. The purpose was to expand library offerings to study hall students to provide a variety of learning activities and increase student engagement. So this is spearheaded by Angelina Brody, who is a successful, amazing librarian who actually integrated maker activities into the high school library, enhances learning by providing hands-on experiences that make STEM subjects more engaging and accessible. These activities help students develop critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration skills while fostering a culture of curiosity and motivation. Additionally, Makerspace also turned the library into a vibrant, inclusive hub for learning and community, ensuring that all students have equitable and access to resources. Some of the things that they've done in there, and you guys got to check it out, is Makerspace Friday. So just come by to the library, and they did 3D printing, crafting, robotics, Legos, board games playing. They go in on those board games like it's a tournament in there. And they also do some coding. So please stop in and check it out. And yes, give kudos to Miss Brody for setting that all up. Thank you.
So looking ahead to the 26-27 school year, we were looking to add a class into the program of studies for social studies. There's a class that hasn't run in some time, news in the media, just due to low enrollment, low interest. So the social studies department got together and would like to propose a history of sports in America. I won't read all the bullets there, but you can see some of the topics that will be discussed. As a meeting with the social studies department, we really feel this is going to be a high interest class. Multiple sections are going to be offered. You heard some of our students in executive session about the classes we offer. I didn't want to share that with the seniors that they're going to miss out on this because there is going to be a huge interest with it. But this is a course we're looking to offer for a half year, half of a credit beginning next year. And that's what we have going on at the high school. Are there any questions we can ask or answer?
Thank you so much, you guys. Do you have any questions?
All done.
We appreciate all the information you guys gave us tonight. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right, that moves us forward now to our budget update.
Good evening, Superintendent Daley, President Coffey, and the Board of Education. I'm Deputy Superintendent Mitch Ball. Thank you for having me to share a budget update. We'll start by going over a quick budget development calendar update. We're in the early phases right now. The budget process really starts in October when we're talking with administrators and department heads about generating budgets that they can put forward so that we can begin reviewing those in late December and early January. And then from there, we start getting into things like board presentations and budget ambassadors and the tax levy limit calculation. And from there, again, more budget ambassadors and eventually working towards budget adoption, the budget hearing, meet the candidate night, and the annual vote and election. So in terms of revenue budgeting, there's still a lot of uncertainty around revenue at this phase in the process. Typically right now we have very little in terms of state aid. What we are hearing, we're kind of hearing two different narratives. One narrative is that state aid is not going to be what it was last year. Obviously there was a big increase in foundation aid specifically to our district as a result of some new data that's being used in order to determine our poverty in the district, which was frankly very beneficial to the district. But what we can anticipate is that the increase that we got last year as a percentage will not be the increase that we get going into 26-27 budgeting. We're also hearing that the state isn't getting as much federal revenue as it has in prior years, and so there's some concerns from the Division of Budget that they won't be able to fund education at this same level as they had previously in the last couple of years. Meanwhile, the state's also distributing checks to all New York State residents as a result of inflationary concerns. And so the state does have some money because they're able to do things like that. So a lot of times this time of year, the state does put up red flags saying we're not going to have funding, and then a lot of times they do come through with it. So we're really hopeful that that is the case, but we won't know more about that until the governor puts out some aid runs in January. And then we don't get our final state aid numbers until the April timeframe. Local tax, we anticipate that from a taxation perspective, we're going to create a balanced budget that is within or at the cap, and that has been our goal over the last 5 budget cycles. From a sales tax perspective, we're talking Monroe County sales tax. The district gets a portion of sales tax for everything that's purchased and is taxable in Monroe County. The district gets a portion of that sales tax revenue. We're anticipating approximately a 3% increase, and we're tying that to estimates of sales and inflationary measures. When things cost more, obviously that sales tax revenue will go up. The market is not suggesting a dip in purchasing power or people's willingness to buy things going into next year, so we don't anticipate a dip in that area. In terms of fund balance and reserves, again, that's to be determined because we have to use, as you know, we have adopted reserve plan, fund balance and reserve use plan adopted by the Board of Education. We have a plan that provides us some flexibility or some safeguards for if, for instance, state aid doesn't come in as anticipated or there's some other concerns that we have that come our way. We use fund balance and reserves as a leverage point to try and ensure that, as you heard from the high school tonight, we're doing a lot of great things in terms of programming and providing experiences for students. We want to be able to continue to fund those things and the required staff in order to get there is that we use fund balance and reserves when needed, although they're tied to very specific purposes under general municipal law and education law. We use those things in order to help us balance our budget. And then other revenues, those are much smaller items like Medicaid and any tuition that we receive. Those are much smaller items. We anticipate about a 2.5% increase in those, but again, that's a very small portion of our revenue. And these things will start to get honed in over the next couple of months, and as they do, we'll be sure to share out more information with the Finance Facility and Audit Committee as well as the Board of Education. From an expenditure budget perspective, we don't know a whole lot at this point. As mentioned earlier, departments and buildings are developing budgets right now that they'll share with us, and then we'll start having some conversations about how funding is being distributed in terms of equity, in terms of ensuring that we're meeting a high standard in terms of programs and experiences again, but we're still honing in a lot of these things, and that will come in the next few months. In terms of salaries, they will be per negotiated contracts, assuming the programs that we offer and the staffing that we have in place continue, which is currently our intention. A 3.8% increase in salaries is the average that we have in terms of our contracts right now. In terms of pension costs, a reminder that pension costs are a percentage of salary. So when we look at our total salary base, this year it was 8.25% for teacher retirement system, which is the retirement system for our certificated teaching staff and administrators. The percentage of salaries that we have to pay into the pension system is going from 8.25% of this year's salaries to 8.75% of next year's salaries, so an increase there. And then employee retirement system, which is generally our support staff, it's estimated to be about 16.88%, which is significant as well. Last year, it was right around, I believe, 13.8%. Employee benefit cost, health insurance, looking at approximately a 10% increase in health insurance. Health insurance is a huge component of our budget, and especially when thinking about compensation for staff, and it continues to experience pretty significant increases as a result, again, of those health insurance market factors. And then dental insurance, approximately a 3% increase. So those are some of our big budget drivers, and again, we're a people business, so much of the cost that we have is paying for our staff. In terms of building and department level budgets, again, we provide a modified zero-based budget. What does that mean is we really start from zero, and then we build a budget off of that. What does that mean for our district? That means that our staff members have to spend a whole lot of time thinking and planning for next year, and they do an incredible job of that. But it also means that the timeline's a little longer, and it also means that we're really focusing our funding on our critical strategic initiatives that we have as a district. And so we feel really confident that we budget in the best way possible, and so that's a modified zero-based budget. And then we're continuing to centralize expenditures from an equity perspective for our elementary buildings, and the Office of Instruction has done, under Troy's, Mr. Olin's leadership, has done an incredible job of that. And then finalized by the end of March, early April, when the final state budget comes out, that's when we'll really be able to hone things in and have a final proposal for the board to hopefully adopt in April. So moving on to Budget Ambassadors. Budget Ambassadors is an advisory group of up to 15 people that we started with about 4 or 5 years ago now. And that advisory group is an advisory group of our community members, people who have interest in learning more about education funding, learning more about how we spend our funds and what we do with those critical and important tax dollars that we have and state dollars that we have. What are the ways in which we utilize those to best service our school community? People come together and they learn a little bit about the budget and then also share any feedback that they may have as to what we maybe can be thinking about doing differently. And so we put out a survey at the end of that process that people respond to that are on the Budget Ambassadors group, and then the board is able to review that and consider that as part of the budgeting process. There's 3 dates scheduled. The third date is really an if necessary date, and usually, as you see here, those meetings start at 6 p.m. If interested, community members should complete the form at that link by January 9th at 5 p.m. For more information on the budget, you'll want to go to gatechili.org/budget, and with any questions on this particular item, please go to communications@gatechili.org. With that, thank you, and are there any questions?
Thank you so much.
Okay.
So moving on, we now have our finance, facilities, and audit update.
Hello again, it's helpful if I bring the paper up with me. So anyway, the Finance Facility and Audit Committee report of November 17th. We talked about budget assumptions and we gave an update on the status of the budget and an overview of the assumptions as they stand. We shared those this evening. Senior income exemption limits, we shared that there was a resident inquiry about senior income exemption limits. This is a topic that comes up just about every year, and so we have a discussion about it. And so we had a discussion again, we reviewed the board policy and talked about the process which exemption limits could be updated. At this time, the committee agreed not to make any adjustments given all considerations, but agreed that they will continue to look at it at an ongoing and annual basis. In terms of facilities use, talked about the Building Brighter Futures project and the various items going on in terms of athletic field construction, work at Florence Brasser and the middle school. Talked about the Future Ready project and the bid process. Contracts were approved. Shared that phase 2 planning is underway. And then talked a little bit about long-range planning. I know that the Leadership Solutions Advisor team presented to the board at the last meeting, but gave a brief overview of the presentation that was shared and also the conversations that have been happening at group planning sessions and what the next couple of weeks and months will look like. And there were no roundtable items, and then we adjourned. Are there any questions on the Finance Facility and Audit Committee?
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. All right, that moves us on now to our consensus agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the consensus agenda? Ms. Littlewood, Ms. Jennings, any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Can I have a motion to approve consensus items C through G? Got Mr. Long and Ms. Manchella. Any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Can I have a motion to approve the appointment of Timothy Dobberton as interim assistant principal for the Florence Brasser Elementary School effective November 25th, 2025? Can I have a motion? Ms. Littlewood, Ms. Jennings, any discussion? All in favor? Vote is unanimous. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the written agreement between the Superintendent of Schools of Gates-Chile Central School District and an employee of the district as discussed in executive session and executed on December 1st, 2025. Can I have a motion? Ms. Littlewood, second, Mr. Reinhardt. Any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. That moves us on now to our superintendent comments.
So students in grades UPK through 5 have parent-teacher conferences on Monday, December 8th. So students in those grades will not be in attendance on that day. High school, middle school students will operate as usual. And as referenced earlier, the middle school musical was outstanding. Great performances by all our Spartans. I look forward to seeing how they continue to develop in our outstanding musical program. And December is concert season time in Gates Chili. Make sure to get out and witness all our talent. Paul Road Band and Chorus Concert is on December 4th. The high school band will celebrate on December 9th. The middle school grade 6 band on December 10th. And the Walt Disney Band and Chorus Concerts December 16th. And if you're in need of some holiday gifts this season, there are 2 great opportunities to get some handmade items. The Florence Brasser Family Association has a craft show December 6th and 7th, and the Walt Disney PTO is hosting their craft show next Saturday, December 13th. Get plenty of information and insight into filling out the financial aid forms on December 10th at 5:30 in the high school library. This is an outstanding opportunity to learn more about this important process for any of our college-bound students and their families. And as referenced earlier, the great Harlem Wizards are coming back. So save the date for another night of laugh and fun in the Spartan Field House as the Gates Chili Education Foundation welcomes back our Harlem Wizards. They will play against the GC faculty, staff, and administration relative all-stars on Friday, January 16th at 7 p.m. Look out for more information in our December e-newsletter. We are currently trying to get a chief of police in the town of Gates to play this year. If anyone knows him, please contact him. Thank you. We'll once again be seeking budget ambassadors from our community. This is a great opportunity to dive into the district's budget and understand more about how we fund our operations. No experience is necessary, but ambassadors must be residents of GC. A maximum of 15 ambassadors will be accepted into our program on a first-come, first-served basis. This year's meeting dates, as shared earlier, are Monday, March 9th, March 16th, and if needed, April 2nd. To apply to participate in this program, complete the form at gateschili.org/budgetambassadors by Friday, January 9th at 5 p.m. That is my report, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Can I have a motion then to adjourn our meeting? Ms. Littlewood, Ms. Davis, any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.